Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so here's the tea. I mean, it's not really tea, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, okay? So, previously I recorded an eyebrow tutorial, but I was not feeling it. I was just like, Destiny, we can do way better than this girl. Come on now. Like, we gotta get it together. So, I took the video down and I made a new one, and this one is it. And I think this came in a lot better. So, if you guys want to know how to get some flaky brows like this, then keep on watching sis, because I got you. We're gonna go from this to this. So this is what you're gonna need, okay? Go ahead and grab your favorite eyebrow product. You can use a cream, a gel, a pencil, whatever you got sis. I prefer to use a pomade. Go pick up some concealer, one that is 2 to 3 shades lighter and one that is your skin tone. You also gonna need some setting powder, you know, because we don't want no concealer moving throughout the day. You also gonna need some brushes, okay? The first one is a Morphe E29. It's a brow dual brush, so it's like a 2-in-1. One has the spoolie on one side and the applicator on the other. And you're also gonna need a concealer brush. Alright, so this hair is not moving either. Pick up some brow gel, okay? You can actually use hairspray. I heard it works too. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the spoolie side of that brow dual brush and I'm just going to brush through the brows a little bit. I want them all going one way. I'm going to do something a little different today. I usually use the brow gel last, but this time I'm actually going to be using it for the first step. So I'm just going to apply that brow gel right on top of my brows and I'm just going to brush them the same way I did before. Going in with my Maybelline Master Conceal, the concealer in the shade 40, I'm just going to apply that on the back of my hand and I'm going to saturate it real good, okay? Starting from the front of my brow, I'm just going to slowly carve out the bottom half of my brow. I am taking very small strokes, by the way, and I am resting my pinky finger on my cheekbone just so I have a little bit of balance so I'm not too rough on the pressure of the concealer. And I'm just going to slowly follow the shape of my brow all the way through. I'm doing this very slowly just so I don't go over my brow hairs by mistake or I overcarve a little too much. And we're going to take our time because we want the brows to be on fleek, don't we? And by the way, I did do the lash glue trick where you put lash glue on your concealer brush, you know, to make it all nice and flat. And sis, it worked. Like, my brows will forever be on fleek because of this. Alright, so just like the other brow, I'm just going to slowly start to carve out these brows, and you can actually tell how slow I'm going. Like, I really do not want to overdo this, and I want them to be nice and sharp. So I really want to make sure that line that I put under my brow is nice and clean, okay? If you want like a new brow technique for your brows, then sis, go get your eyebrows threaded. I rather thread my brows than get them waxed. I'd rather do that than pluck them. It's like the new everything. Like, it does hurt a little bit in the beginning, but you know, after a while you start to get used to it. I mean, come on sis, beauty is pain. You know this by now. Just gonna blend out this concealer. I want it all nice and blended. I don't want any like harsh lines. You know how sometimes you can see like a harsh line of concealer? No, none of that. I want my concealer to be nice and blended, okay? I want you to think that this is coming from my skin and these are my real brows. This blending brush is from, I think it's called Babbyyyyy Cosmetics. I'll link it down below, but this is honestly like the best blending brush there is. Like, when I actually got this brush, I got it in like an Ipsy bag a while back, and after that I ordered like 3 of them. Going in with my BornThisWay concealer in the shade Honey, I'm just going to use that to clean up the top of my brow. And I'm doing the same thing I did before. I'm taking very small strokes. But the thing is, with this concealer, I like to use a concealer that is the same shade as me because it does blend in better with the skin. If I was to use a concealer that was lighter than me, then you can kind of see where that concealer cuts off. And I don't want that. I want this to look like it's coming straight from the skin. You can actually use your foundation as well. It's more of a preference. So I'm just going to take that concealer all over again, and I'm just going to do a nice swipe right across the brow, and I'm going to do this straight across until I get to the tail. And like I said, I really want to keep these brows nice and sharp. I don't want them to look somewhat uneven, so I really have to be careful, especially when I get to my arch on this brow, because you know, this is where I overplucked my brow. So I do have to leave a little bit of room for some brow product. Okay, so I'm just going to blend this concealer out like usual. I don't want any harsh lines. I don't want any harsh edges. Like, I'm going to blend this concealer out to the T. So you see what I mean about, you know, the concealer being the same shade as you? Like, I mean, come on. Like, you can't even tell where I even put that concealer. Like, let me know, okay? Okay, for my brows, I'm going to take my Anastasia dipbrow in the shade dark brown. Okay, so now I'm just going to take small strokes, and I'm going to start from my arch just so it can kind of give me an idea, and I want to get that part out the way. And I really just want to make this nice and clean, and I want to drag this all over the bottom half of my brow. Yes, I'm going to take small strokes like usual just to make sure everything is nice and blended. I'm going to slowly flick out the front of my hairs just to define a couple of them. I don't want to define too much. When doing my brows, I like to start from the tail and then work my way inwards. I feel like I need to focus more of my attention from the tail to my arch because I don't have to really fill in so much from the front. I like to apply the brow pomade and then brush it out with a spoolie just to make sure I'm not over applying and I'm making sure that both brows are going to come out nice and even. Alright, just like before with the concealer, I'm just going to create my arch really quick just so I can get that out the way, and then I'm going to slowly brush this out with the spoolie, and then I'm just going to add some more brow product to the top of the brow, mostly where it's needed. Mostly where it's needed. Sorry y'all, I'm a whole mess out here. But yeah, I do like to make my arch for my tail a little bit darker. I kind of want, like, you know, that ombre effect. I know you can probably see it now. You probably know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I do have to go back in between brow products just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. Sometimes I have to make the brows a little bit darker, so I'll go in with some more brow product. Or sometimes I have to do some, you know, a little bit of extra cleaning, and I'll go in with some concealer. So it's really, you know, just a routine just to get the brows nicely done. You know, look at them brows. Like, we got Baddie on this side, and then we got basic on the other. Like, come on now. So since my left brow is a little bit tricky, it's okay. It's my bad anyway. I'm just going to apply that product right under my arch, and then I'm just going to follow that along the tail of my brow. Like I said, I'm going to take small strokes, and you guys are probably tired of hearing me saying that, but honestly, that's what it is. Like, that's what I gotta do, you know? And since this arch is highly messed up, we're going to create a brand new arch for her, you know, give her a whole new home and everything, okay? I'm going to apply that product, and I'm going to slowly blend it out into my brow hairs. And you know, to make sure that everything is coming together, I'm going to go back in with the spoolie and the brow product every now and then just to make sure I'm blending everything out and it comes out nicely. And I'll probably add some concealer just to make sure that everything is going to be as sharp as I want it to be. I'm just going to apply some more brow product along the bottom half of my line. My brow line actually, and I'm just gonna do small strokes, you know, like usual. And sorry about like my eyes, I was looking kind of crazy. My lights were flickering and it was like freaking me out a little bit. But yeah, I'm just gonna apply this brow product to the front of my brow. I don't want it to be too harsh because I kind of want like the ombre effect, so I kind of want the hairs to look more natural in the front. And then I'm just gonna apply some more concealer just to do a little bit of extra cleaning. I'm going to apply some of that brow product on the front of my brow. I just want to define a couple of those hairs. I don't want it to look too harsh. I want it to have like the ombre effect, so only a couple of them will be defined, and I'm just going to brush that out with the spoolie just to make sure it doesn't look too harsh and everything just comes together. Right now I'm just going to take that same concealer and I'm going to apply that to my lids. This is just going to prep my eyes for my eyeshadow when I'm about to do it later. I'm going to apply that to my lids and then I'm just going to blend that out like so. I'm just going to take a damp beauty sponge that is damp with water, by the way, and I'm just going to blend out the concealer just a little bit more just to make sure everything is all nice and blended, you know. And actually I did set my concealer, well, all of my concealer with my Anastasia loose setting powder. I just accidentally forgot to film it. So yeah, that was the last step, and actually this does complete the look. I hope you like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Show your girl some love. You know we are trying to grow. Let me know what you do to get fleeky eyebrows, sis. I want to know what you use. Anywho, I will see you in my next video. Thank you and be safe.